Welcome to the Mystic Access Podcast,
where the magic is in learning.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to March 24th, 2020 Mystic Access Podcast episode. She's Kim.
He's Chris.
And we have a few things to talk about this time.
It's going to be a little more serious than normal, but we will try and have a bit of fun as we progress through. We started talking about the practicalities of the current surreal world situation, especially everything going on here in the States right now. And we thought we want to talk about this from a slightly different angle and perhaps talk about some things that maybe some of you haven't considered yet or haven't really thought about, or maybe give you some tips that would assist you in making this very weird, surreal time a little more doable, a little more user-friendly, as it were, and accessible to you from a blindness perspective. So while this is weird for everybody, we want to specifically dive in a bit to that today and discuss some options, and we have a few recommendations to share as well. However, first, a reminder.
We have a class, our virtual event for March, and we're going to talk about Lisi, the scripts for JAWS written by Brian Hartgen of Hartgen Consultancy, and they will give your screen reader JAWS lots and lots of different functionality that it didn't have before. So it's going to just give you an overview of what Lisi is, why you might like it, and all that stuff as well. And
we're going to share tips and tools and tricks and fun things about it and kind of give you a little bit of a picture of how it may be able to enhance your computer usage. Particularly if you aren't someone who really likes playing around on your computer and doing things, you might really like Lisi. It's great for both beginners and advanced users for different reasons.
Class is on March 26th, so 2 days after this podcast, at 8:30 p.m. and you can join our events list and you'll receive the call-in information as we use the Zoom conferencing platform in order to conduct our classes. Speaking of Zoom, a lot of people, because of the current situation in the world, have been using Zoom for online classes and trainings and stuff like that. So if you're a student, you may get used to using it, or if you don't know how to use it, we have a little demo that you can download that will show you how to use Zoom, and that's mysticaccess.com/zoom-demo.
Yep, that'll get you right there. You can learn more about it. If you are working from home, if you are doing virtual meetings, or if you are, as Chris said, a student who is off from school right now and doing all your work from home, this is a good time to learn to use it. And fortunately, it's a very, very, very accessible program. So hopefully that is what you are using in your classroom and or virtual meeting situation currently, because we can help with that.
Our little demo deals with joining Zoom meetings as a participant. It doesn't really talk about hosting a Zoom meeting. If you want that, Jonathan Mosen has recently given his Zoom book away, Meet Me in the Cloud. I think that's what it's called, at least that's what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think he may have changed it, but he decided to give it away to anybody that wants to download it, and we purchased it way back in the day. And it is a very good resource. It is still a very good resource.
Yeah, particularly if you need to be hosting meetings at this time. It will give you a lot of good information.
Now we talk a little bit about this whole pandemic that we're in right now. And some of the things that you want to make sure of is that you make sure that you get the information that you need, but don't let it engulf your life. So sometimes you do have to just walk away from it, even for a couple of hours. So if you're sitting there listening to the radio or watching TV or whatever, and of course it is a big deal, people need to know about it, but sometimes you just have to walk away.
And I will give you a tip for that as we progress in today's podcast, something I like to use to help me with that you may enjoy as well. But the other thing about it is making sure that the information that you are receiving is valid and relevant to where you are. For instance, Chris is in New York, the hardest hit coronavirus state currently. And you definitely want to be sure, if you're there, that you know exactly what's going on, how close his cases are to you, etc. I also highly suggest, and I'll try and find a good link to post, that if you want the most accurate information about the spread of coronavirus, of COVID-19, that you check information specifically from the CDC, because you're going to get accurate information from there. Don't use your social media accounts as ways to get accurate information about this.
Sometimes we think, what do we do in this time? So for the majority of people, we're stuck in our houses now.
More or less.
And
If we have to do something, we're getting out early. We're trying to figure that out. Chris and I have had this conversation about public transit lately. If you can avoid it, please do. It's probably safest just because many people who are sick to begin with are taking public transit because of that. So you're more open to and susceptible to contract something if you aren't very, very diligent. And sometimes even when you are very, very diligent. If you can follow these guidelines, stay at home as much as you can, there are ways to make sure, depending on where you live again, that you can get your items delivered to you as opposed to going to them. Now, you may have appointments and things you must go to, and as we stand currently, that is something that you can do, depending, but you may want to call ahead. You may want to make sure. Chris just canceled an appointment this morning, and then you found out, what, the whole place was closed?
yes, they were closed. I don't know if they were closed for the day. I don't know how they operate, but the outgoing voicemail said they were closed today and they would return back to the office tomorrow. So I just left a voicemail canceling my appointment. It wasn't worth going out and possibly getting infected.
Particularly if you're in a state like you are that has, where are you guys now in terms of cases?
I don't know. The majority of the cases are on the other side of the state, although we do have our share. I mean, one is too many.
Yeah, but you're in the hundreds, right?
The last time I checked, it was about 20. Again, that's 20 too much. In the whole state, I think it's closer to 1,000.
Wow.
It is the state with the most cases as of the last time I checked. Now, I didn't really check this morning. The last time I heard, it was about 20 in my county. You just have to be careful. You have to stay safe. And I mean, it goes for everybody. Just do
Yeah.
what's recommended.
Do what's recommended and know that a lot of this is being spread by people who are asymptomatic. And that's probably what makes it really scary, because you have no idea whether or not you have it. Anyway, going back to what we were saying, there are ways to get things delivered to you, and there's a new way.
Yeah, it's called contactless delivery. At least a couple of the food apps, delivery service apps, Postmates and Grubhub, I know for sure have done this if the rest of them haven't already. When you're placing your order, you can tell them that you don't want to be contacted. So what they'll do is they'll leave the stuff wherever you tell them to. If you give them a note, you tell them what to do, they will do that for you. What I was doing, and I'm changing my tune on this, is I was telling them to ring the bell and leave the groceries or the food on the table, because I have an outside table sitting there on the porch. And what I'm deciding to do the next time I place an order is to have them text me when they arrive. And I think Grubhub started to do this automatically, because the last time I got something from Grubhub, I got a text message that said my order has been delivered. So if you tell them where you want them to put it, then it's easier for you to find it when you have to go look for it. You want to make sure that you're not getting in contact with them. And what I've been doing too is using Clorox wipes to wipe off the doorbell, wipe off the mailbox, wipe off door handles, and even outside door handles and things like that somebody may come in contact with, because it's just a scary time to just not even play around.
Do we know if Shipt and Instacart are doing something similar to this with contactless delivery?
I don't, but I would not be surprised. I think that they are, because the last time I heard of something is that they were telling their workers not to enter the house. So they would hand off at the door, which is what I used to make them do anyway, to just leave the groceries on the table, just because it was easier for me to just deal with it and basically not have somebody in the house. So that's how I've always dealt with Instacart and Shipt. But now it's a little bit different, because you want to make sure that they're as far away from you as possible.
If you have symptoms of anything, this is especially applicable to you.
Right.
Cough, sore throat, God forbid, fever. You just want to automatically not take anything for granted and make sure that you're not coming in contact.
When I was listening to the radio, because I've been doing a lot of listening to the local news and stuff like that, and what they were telling people is, if you have to call 911, you need to tell the dispatcher, even if you think you have a cough, because you don't know what it is, so that the first responders have an idea that they may be coming into dangerous territory.
If you are not sure about the delivery services you have around you and you're interested in learning more, Shipt, Instacart, Grubhub, Postmates, DoorDash, etc., there are ways to find out. And we go into that in the book that we recently wrote and released with NBP, National Braille Press, which is called Dinner Delivered. And if you think something like this might interest you, it might be worth your $18 right now. We don't profit from it, but it is a nice way to support NBP, who does such great work with Braille and getting Braille into the hands of Braille readers. It's available from the website. I'll link to it in the show notes if you'd like to learn more. We've done some presentations about it as well, so you can find one, I think, in our podcast archives, one in the Tech Talk archives from Accessible World. So those are options for you, and we kind of talk about the ways that are most accessible to access these places in terms of apps or online through a computer, etc. So we definitely encourage you, if you are needing to get groceries or items. CVS, for instance, is a place that you can access via both Instacart and...
I believe so, yes. And it's really going to depend on your local area, what stores you have access to.
But a lot of times you do have access to a pharmacy there. Now, I'm not saying they can fill your prescription for you remotely and bring it to you. But if you need something that's over-the-counter available, you can get those type of items brought to you. So for now, delivery is still a very viable option for getting things.
Please note, as of this recording, until April 30th, 2020, National Braille Press is giving away 3 books. So they're offering 3 books for download. One is the Dinner Delivered book. Another is the Getting Visual Assistance with an iPhone by Judy Dixon, and Navigating Healthcare by Deborah Kendrick. These will be free to anybody who wants them until April 30th, 2020. This is a way that National Braille Press can assist us in these hard times. And these are just the free downloads, the free digital products. As of this recording, and we're putting this in as kind of like a time capsule, as of this recording, at least in my area, if not countrywide, restaurants are pickup only. So that means you can't dine in a restaurant. Bowling alleys are closed. Theaters are closed. There's just a bunch of different things that we literally take for granted that are closed.
If you are 65 or older, particularly, you are vulnerable. You are more vulnerable just because of your age in the population. Especially for you, you need to be careful. You need to make sure that you're following guidelines that are suggested, just to try to make sure. In fact, my mother was attempting to schedule an appointment this morning and discovered that anyone over the age of 65 was not allowed in the building. This was a doctor's appointment. So these are things you need to know. Again, if you're going anywhere, if you have any appointments, you want to call in advance and make sure that everything is still good and that you can go. This is countrywide now. This is nationwide. All 50 states, I believe. Is that what you heard last?
Yes.
Now have cases. This is definitely something we want to take seriously. If you are, however, one of the tons of people who is stuck at home quarantined wondering what is next, there are other options for you. We just finished our course on cord cutting that we updated, and pretty soon we will have a nice new extended package of cord cutting materials available for you. Keep that in mind. We will probably let you know on the next podcast that that is available and ready for you. You can learn how to access and the easiest, most accessible ways to access things such as Netflix, Hulu, PBS, CBS All Access, tons of your favorite channels and your favorite programming via various cord cutting options. So you're stuck at home anyway, it may be a good time to think about that. If you want to cut down on expenses right now, which a lot of people do, this may be an option for you to consider to, number one, be more economical and not pay the exorbitant cable bill, but also be more accessible to you as someone who uses a screen reader. So that will be available soon, coming up. We want to find ways to spend our time productively. Many of us are still very fortunate to be able to go to our jobs every day. I'm really grateful at this stage that my work is virtual and we can still meet with people all over the world and have conversations. The thing is, we've been hearing so much about social distancing over the last week. Where that is concerned, you can socially distance without being socially isolated. And I think that's a piece that we all need to remember right now. It's more important than ever to be kind and reach out and make sure the people around you that you love are okay. Be compassionate towards people in your various industries because we're all kind of doing the best we can right now, and it's a really weird situation. Just keep that in mind as you're going about your day. If you want to make sure you're staying connected, come hang out with us. We have the monthly class that's coming up. If you aren't interested in Lacey, we totally understand that. Not all people are JAWS users, but we always have goodies coming up. There are gatherings virtually. You have social media, although you may want to be careful with your social media that you are not overwhelmed by information. You know, there's a fine balance to be found, and it's different for you and for me. We all have our own ways of finding that balance and making that happen. Please know that we are available to you, however, if we can be of assistance, particularly if you're at home trying to increase your understanding of your tech. Because here's the thing, you guys, right now, if you are in a situation where you have asked and or allowed sighted friends, family members to do things for you, and those services are available online, such as your banking, again, if you have the ability to get your stuff delivered in your area, having that done, it is a very good, auspicious time to consider learning more of this stuff for yourself. If you are, for instance, not familiar with your bank's interface, now is a time to start figuring that stuff out. Because we don't know how long we're going to be here. We don't know how long this is going to go on. And we have to, even in the midst of isolation, advocate. We have to be our own advocate, and we have to make sure we can do things as competently and confidently as possible, even in the midst of anxiety. Think about learning some of these things if someone else has been going out and doing some of this for you. Also, remember, we have remote options available. Ira, Be My Eyes, other services like that can assist you. We have things like ID Mates that can scan products. We don't sell that, but it is a great tool that is available for you to be able to do things as independently as possible. So my point is, if you are someone who has been used to needing the support and assistance of sighted friends and family members on a regular basis to do everyday tasks, and they don't live with you, or even if they do live with you and they're off doing other things, it's just a good opportunity to assert your independence through learning to be more confident with your technology. And a good example of that is go back and listen to our last podcast to learn about a lady who did exactly that during her own blindness transition. And we hope her story will kind of inspire you in this time of uncertainty. So going back to social distancing, we have made a decision that some of you may enjoy, and because we're all kind of stuck and people may have questions and have things that they might want some support with, we've decided to hold a free open house. And this is just an opportunity for you to come hang out with us. We'll answer your questions, we'll converse, we'll talk about things. We're going to have this on March 27th, which is a Friday. This will be from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So enough time for us to hang out and chat and catch up for a bit. Bring your questions if you specifically have questions about something that we do or something you'd like to learn more about. And kind of just be there to support your fellow Mystic Access community members.
Support each other, exactly.
Support each other, yeah. I mean, we all have the opportunity to help each other during any time, really, but especially during a time like this. It's a perfect opportunity to reach out and to share. So we would love to facilitate some of that for you, and we will put that information out once we have it. I'll probably put it in the newsletter for you guys on the events list, so you will see it probably first, and then I will also make sure that it is publicly posted as well. So if you haven't seen it, you want to know where it is, go to our news page or give us a call. We'll be happy to email it to you. If you can't find it, please look on the news page first. We'll attempt to get that up as soon as possible. We'll try and have that up by the time this podcast comes out, so be sure to look for it on our news page, and we will make sure that's available for you. Social distancing does not, again, have to be social isolation. There are ways around that. And another way to make sure that you are kind of feeling safe and secure during this process is to use the technology already available to you. So do you like to read? Do you like to, again, watch movies on Netflix or TV shows, things like that? Do you like to binge on YouTube videos? Another thing you may want to check out is we did a recent free class on audio description. So if you want to find out where there are audio described shows and movies, we talk about that in class. And we talk about the legal ways to get them, by the way. So there are things we won't be discussing, but we will be discussing Netflix, Disney Plus, etc. That's an option too if you want to make sure that the content you're watching has audio description or want to find out whether your favorite show has audio description available somewhere, then we'll be sharing that with you in that class. So I'll link to that as well as an option for you to check out. The other thing that's important to remember here, and this is something that we've been talking a lot about on Facebook among a group of friends, is please remember, if you can, to support your small business. If that is your small online business, then do that too, because a lot of people are really going to be struggling right now. And so if you have the ability to get that thing from your favorite Etsy seller or your favorite person who you know has a shop online and can send it to you, if that's something that feels resonant to you, you may wish to consider that right now, because it's very important still to make sure that our business owners, our small business owners who are either working in a very small environment or who, there are just a few people involved in the business or one person who's running a business, still has that income coming in and available to them. So that's something else to just consider while you're thinking about things like this. It's very important because, again, we don't want to go into isolation while we are doing our distancing. We want to make sure that we are still connected with each other and doing so in a kind, compassionate way and reaching out and trying to assist each other wherever we can. That's important as well, and that's one of the reasons that we want to do this open house, to make sure that you have a place where you can ask your questions. And obviously, we aren't medical professionals. We aren't journalists. I almost was, but that's another story. But we do know our field, and we want to be able to help where we can here. So definitely come to the open house if that interests you, if you want to hang out and chat. They're very informal. They're very fun. A lot of really good people show up at them, and many of them have even way better advice than we do about things. So we learn from each other on these things, and it's very fun, and it's very enlightening to talk to people. I also want to mention a great way to reduce your anxiety throughout this. This is just a way that I like. There are some really great meditation apps available to you, and some of them have regressed in terms of their accessibility, and some are still great. There's one called Calm, which is fantastic, CALM. I don't subscribe to that one anymore because I'm subscribing to a different one currently, but it is a really great app, and it has a lot available. If you have a Sonos at home, it is one of the services that you can connect to your Sonos, which is very cool. Chris likes one. It's a nature sounds app. Can't you mix music and stuff with it too now? Haven't they really improved it or increased what you can do with it?
Yes, it's called Rain Rain, and it does a lot of different nature type of sounds or ambient sounds so that you can just kind of veg out and just sit and listen for a while. They have a free version, and then they also allow you to unlock premium sounds. And what they do is, if you have the free version, you get a premium sound of the day so that you can listen to one of the premium sounds without paying for it. But you get a lot without paying for it. But it's just something to keep your mind away from the everyday, just not letting this get to you as much as possible. You want to make sure that you know what's going on, you get your dosage, but you need to be able to walk away from it. And that's one of the things too. When a person is working from home, everybody thinks how great it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
I mean, there are advantages to it. There are disadvantages to it, too.
Right. Like, you have to learn when to shut it off.
You have to be disciplined. You have
Yes.
to be extraordinarily disciplined, both about when to shut it off and when you need to be working. It's very easy to take your work home with you, particularly in our field. And it's something that, because we are home, well, we take it home with us every day because we're here. We're looking at our workspaces. If you can get out in nature, if you have the ability to get out and walk, listen to the birds sing. We're recording this on the spring equinox, and that's cool to me. Like, I love that. I'm a spring baby. I'm ready for some spring, and it's beautiful here. It's going to be more than 70 degrees here today, which is insane. It's just been joyful to get to listen to my birdies singing outside and all these things. It's been very quiet here. Of course, I'm in the country. It's quiet here a lot, but quieter than normal by far here. We were talking to a colleague recently who was in a big city, and he was saying, there's no traffic on the roads. It's surreal. So we have to find ways to disengage and to engage with things that make us calm. So Rain Rain is a good example. Can you show us real quick? Can you give a little tour?
Sure.
Music and podcasts folder, 12 apps.
So you're hearing Alex, so this is iOS.
Open Rain Rain.
And it's a subscription type service now, isn't it?
It is.
Sounds will search button.
So you've got a search button, and I'm just going to flick to the right, and we're going to just take a little peek and see what we have here.
Today's free premium sound, heading. Soft leaves and wind.
Aw.
Actions available.
And it says actions available. So if I flick up or down, we've got,
Add soft leaves and wind to favorites. Activate default.
so I can activate it or I can add it to favorites.
Popular, heading.
Let's go back to
Soft leaves and wind.
Soft
Actions available.
leaves and wind. And I'm just going to double tap this.
Soft leaves and wind.
And even not mixed, you can tell how beautiful that is. That's nice.
Popular. Heading. Soft leaves and wind. Add soft leaves and wind to favorites. Activate default. Soft leaves and wind.
And I just stopped it. So now we're going to flick to the right.
Oh, I thought you added it to your favorites.
I did not. I stopped it.
Okay.
I wanted them to hear Alex too.
Rain Rain Original. Actions available.
So we're in popular now, correct?
Right, and this is Rain Rain Original. This is the sound of rain.
Rain Rain Original. Rain Rain Original. Rain Rain 3D. Action. Rain on a window. Locked. Premium sound. Actions available.
So Rain Rain, that's locked. It means that it's a premium sound.
But why is it locked for you? Because I thought you had premium.
I don't know. I saw that with Twitterific the other day. I had to actually go in and not redo the subscription, but basically say, okay, I have this. So it must have been some kind of iOS update or something. But you're right. I should have the full unlocked version. So
There are some weirdnesses in this version of iOS that are driving me mad. That's happening with multiple apps. So I don't know what's going on. I'm looking forward to the update.
Crackling fire.
So here's a crackling fire.
Thunderstorm.
I like this one.
Thunderstorm.
Come on, let's hear a thunder crack.
Yeah, I was waiting for some. Very soothing, though.
You can kind of hear the rumbling thunder. There it
There
is.
we go.
Thunder cracks. Thunderstorm.
So we're going to stop that one.
Thunder cracks.
And then we're going to, let's take a listen real quick to thunder cracks.
Thunder cracks.
There we go.
It's very pretty.
But there's more than just rain sounds.
Yeah, and if you have a set-top box as well,
Actions available.
this is available for some of your set-top boxes, and it sounds wickedly good if you've got a good speaker system.
Yes, it actually does. I have it installed on my Apple TV, and when you have this going through your 5.1 surround sound system, it really does sound good.
We've got headings on here too, don't we?
50,
Let me see.
55 words. Headings. Rain. Heading.
Yep, so there's rain,
Thunderstorms. Heading.
thunderstorms.
Water. Heading. Nature. Heading. Dog and cat.
So you've even got dogs and cats. So let's see what dogs and cats sounds like.
Dog and cat.
It's a purring cat. That's cool. Neat.
Dog and cat. Cat purring. Crickets. Locked. Premium sound. Cicadas. Actions available. 5 more sounds.
So
Actions
there's
available.
5 more sounds. So if I double tap this,
5 more sounds. Shih Tzu snoring. Spring peeper frogs. Locked.
Aw.
Premium sound. Frogs. Locked. Premium sound. Frogs and insects. South Africa. Locked. Premium sound. Whale song. Locked. Premium sound. Less animals. Birds. Heading. Harbor seagulls. Actions available. Harbor seagulls.
you can hear the seagulls.
Yeah, it's the first day of spring. We got to play some birds.
And then
Button air. Timers and reminders. Button.
we've got different things near the bottom of the screen, and we got timers and reminders.
Play. Button.
There's your play button.
Timers and
There's
reminders.
timers and reminders.
Volume. 62%.
There's your volume.
Button airplay. Button.
You can actually AirPlay it, so I could AirPlay this to my Sonos if I wanted to.
Button airplay. Button.
And that's pretty much it, how this little app works.
You'll find several apps like this with ambiances. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the App Store or the Play Store or wherever you want to go. There's one that I especially love. If any of you remember my Bird Tunes podcast, which sadly the app is no more, but I did a demo of Bird Tunes once upon a time in this podcast, and the gentleman who created that, Lang Elliott, has another app now called Pure Nature. It's a paid app, and you essentially get hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of nature sounds. I think there's probably like 11 hours or so of nature sounds in there now.
Yeah, it's quite insane.
It's cool. It's really cool, and it sounds gorgeous. There's also one called Nature Space. I think we've demoed that here at one point. I'm not really sure, but it's a really great app as well. So Chris showed you a nature ambience. I want to show you this meditation app that I use all the time. And it does have some accessibility issues, but none that will keep you from listening at least to the meditations. I'm going to write to them again and see if they can do more to make this even better. But for what I use it for the most part, it works great. I am sad, though, because I cannot rate and review the meditations. I've not found a way to do that. Let me give you a tour.
Thursday. Inside. Press home. Inside timer. 4 minutes ago. Daily reminder. Pranayama. Control your breath to calm your mind. Button.
And ironically enough, on my lock screen right now, I have a daily reminder that reminds me of a course, because they do have meditation courses in Insight Timer, and I think you have to pay. I think you have to be a paid member to get those. But I'm doing a course, and I get a daily reminder that reminds me, hey, time to do your course lesson for the day. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to find my app.
App switcher. Insight timer. Active. Insight timer. 35,000 free meditations. Heading.
Yes, that did say 35,000 free meditations. You can pay and you'll get access to more goodies. It does seem a little more accessible when you pay for it, but you also get a trial, and they have updated the accessibility pretty significantly since I first joined as a paid member. I use this every single day. As a result of that, it's really worth my $60 a year. So it's about $5 a month. I think it's an annual payment. There may be a way to do a monthly, but I know I did a yearly. Let me show you this app.
35,000 free meditations. Heading.
That's at the top. It's a heading.
Purposeful pauses to lead and live with excellence. Janice Martirano. New course.
That's a course. Purposeful pauses to lead and live with excellence, I think it's called. So that's a course. So if you go in there, you can learn more about this course.
Just released. Heading.
Then we have just released.
Guided.
And we have things here. We have guided, just released guided meditations.
Music.
Music tracks.
Talks.
Talks.
Kids.
Kids.
Today's staff picks. Heading.
Then we have a heading called Today's Staff Picks.
Taking the Good. Lori J. Cameron. Rated 4.7. 7 minutes.
So that's a meditation called Taking the Good. I actually did that one this morning by a lady named Lori J. Cameron. It gives the rating and it tells you how long the meditation is.
A global coronavirus healing meditation. Allison Serrer. Rated 4.8. 16 minutes.
That meditation is the reason I wanted to show you this, because there are coronavirus meditations. So there's one.
Somatic support. Breathing with the earth. Venerable Lobsang Tenpa. Rated 4.9. 15 minutes.
That's called Breathing with the Earth.
Let it rain. Igor Azendum. Rated 4.7. 5 minutes.
That's a music track. I listened to that this morning.
Gratitude meditation to release anxiety in times of uncertainty. Lisa Kalpa. Rated 4.8. 12 minutes.
Gratitude meditation to release fear in times of uncertainty. These things are very relevant to the times.
Being the calm center for yourself and others. The living point. Rated 4.7. 9 minutes. You are sacred. Your things are not. Brooks Palmer. Rated 4.8. 13 minutes. Distant Beacon. Sacred Sound Journey. Rated 4.9. 17 minutes. Surrender to Sweet Sleep. Tanya Dunn. Rated 4.7. 19 minutes. Martha and Beth Meet a Unicorn. Chapter 1. Siobhan. Rated 4.9. 15 minutes. Vertical scroll bar. 8 pages. 100%. Adjustable.
So there's our scroll bar.
Swipe up or down. Selected. Today. Tab. 1 of 4.
And these are the tabs along the bottom. There's Today, which is selected.
My favorites. Tab. 2 of 4.
My favorites.
Search. Tab. 3 of 4.
Search.
My profile. Tab. 4 of 4.
And my profile. Let's find a meditation. So to do this, I'm going to go
Today's staff picks. Heading.
to the Today's Staff Picks heading, and then I'm going to go to the left, back to
Kids. Talks. Music.
these categories. Let's go into Kids.
Talk. Kids. Kids. Back button.
There's a back button.
Kids. Heading. At home all day. Active and calm kids. A living point. Rated 5.0. 12 minutes.
And again, your kids are home from school possibly right now. They're doing school from home. There are meditations to help with that.
11th. Chapter 3. Siobhan. 6 minutes. The Enchanted Storybook. Sleep Practice. Happy Minds Productions. Rated 5.0. 30 minutes. Boosting immunity and feeling calm in the time of coronavirus. Laura Garrison Brooke. Rated 4.6. 15 minutes.
Again, more coronavirus meditations.
The Energizing Valley. Chapter 2. Siobhan. 13 minutes. Magical Sleep Train. Guided Sleep Practice. Happy Minds Productions. Rated 4.5. 33 minutes.
So Chris loves trains, so we got to try this.
Button.
Now,
Happy Minds Productions Bullet Kids. Button.
here's where the lack of accessibility comes in a bit.
Magical Sleep Train. Got Kids. Back button.
Okay, I've gone to the top of the screen. There is my back button.
More. Button.
There's a more button. If we go in here,
More. Kids. Back button. More. Button. Possibly. Share.
there's a share button.
Bookmark. Button.
You can bookmark.
33 minutes. 413 plays. Guided.
It tells you what category it's in, how many plays, and how long it is.
Magical Sleep Train. Guided Sleep Practice. Button.
And I really don't understand why this is in more, because either my more button didn't activate or this is the same information that's in the meditation itself. So not quite sure what that's all about.
Happy Minds Productions Bullet Kids. Button.
So this is the kids category, and it's by Happy Minds Productions. You can double tap here to learn more.
This dreamy guided sleep practice enables kids, with a sparkle of enchantment, to believe anything is possible. Kids will love taking this calming journey into space to explore the galaxy on the relaxing and smooth sleep train. Button.
There is the description.
Play. Button.
If we go past play, we're going to come back to it.
Read more. Button.
There's read more.
4.5. Heading.
There's the rating.
Button. Heading.
There's an unlabeled button. However,
Heading.
if you double tap it,
Heading. Heading.
nothing happens. And if I go down to look and see if there's anything here,
Search. Tab. 3. Guided imagery. Repeat mode. Playlists.
now that information is in more. So what I essentially think I did was split my screen a bit, and the more stuff is near the bottom. What I can't do is rate. I've not found a successful way to rate or review, which makes me sad.
Share. Journal. Donate.
This is all in more.
Bookmark. Private mode. Sleep mode.
So you got sleep mode, private mode.
19 minutes. The Cuddly Koala. Guided. Kids. Back button.
That's a completely different meditation. Now I've lost my place.
Kids. Back button.
So what I'm going to attempt to do,
Playlists.
we paused. I've gotten back to where I need to be on the screen. Sometimes pressing more is just not necessarily the best idea. You can do more in it. Some of this is very much a matter of knowing where you are on the screen. So you don't always want to flick in here. You want to use Explore by Touch because sometimes it will help you. Not always. In courses it can help you. In the timer, which I'm going to show you, it can help you. But I've not found a way to rate and review.
4.5. Heading.
So again, we're back to this rating.
Button. Heading.
There's the unlabeled button.
Lovely. Heart with stars. Rainbow flag. N rainbow flag. A rainbow flag. R rainbow flag. L rainbow flag. E rainbow flag. Y rainbow flag. Heart with ribbon. Yesterday.
And there's a review by somebody with lots of rainbow flags in her name.
Read all 6 reviews. Button.
And there is read all 6 reviews.
Happy Minds Productions. 22 followers.
This is Happy Minds Productions. They have 22 followers,
Follow. Button.
and you can choose to follow.
Dimmed. Button. Possible text. Offline repeat mode.
There is offline repeat mode,
19 minutes. The Cuddly Koala.
and then here are other related kids meditations. So I'm going to go back and try and find the play button.
Read more. Play. Button.
Here it is. Here's play.
Play.
I think opening more was a bad idea.
This dreamy guide. Play. Button. App switcher. Insight timer. Insight. Insight timer.
So we've gotten back to the play button, and note, if you're playing around in this app, opening more while you're in the meditation itself can cause a little bit of problems, so that might not be the best idea. In fact, I had to kill the app from the app switcher and reopen it. I knew it looked a little weird at the top of the screen before. There's actually more stuff up there, which I'll show you in a second, but let's play.
Play. Button.
The magical sleep train to outer space. In this fun and relaxing sleep meditation story, if you want to explore the most exciting, marvelous and fantastical of places you can
So she has a very
imagine,
soothing voice.
Button.
then make
32,
sure you're
14.
all
That's how much time's left.
comfortable
2%. Adjustable.
and
Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value. Rewind. Button.
I can rewind.
Pause. Button.
I can pause.
9 dots button. Button.
And that says 9 dots button.
Because this
Pause.
very old
Button. Play. Dimmed. Selected. Play. Button.
So I just paused that. If we want to get out of here, we would press the 9 dots button.
9 dots button. Button. Happy Minds Productions. Button. Magical Sleep Train. Guided 31:58.
And it tells us where we were in the meditation.
Discard session. Button.
We can discard,
Finish. Button.
or we can finish. I'm going to finish.
Repeat mode. This file will play continuously until you manually click stop. Got it. Button. Got it. Button.
I don't want to do this, so what I'm going to do is go back out of the app,
App switcher. Insight timer.
go back in.
Insight. This file will play in repeat mode.
This is not what I want. Ultimately, what I really wanted to show you, though, was that this works. You can play. If you actually do a meditation or a music track or a talk all the way through, then it will end for you automatically, and you have buttons that allow you to finish. So you'll hit a finish button when you're done, and then it will allow you to rate, which we can't do accessibly currently. It will allow you to bookmark or to follow, as we saw earlier, and you can go back and find other meditations that you want. So the way I showed you this meditation is not normally how people would do it. You're not going to play the first 30 seconds. You're going to play all of it, and then it works perfect, so it's not an issue. If you go to the top of the screen, and this I do want to show you, so I'm going to actually kill the app
App switcher. Insight timer.
so I can get
App
back
switcher.
to the top of the screen. I want to show you the timer. Open Insight Timer.
Inside timer. Timer.
Now our screen has changed. So we're on the main screen and we have timer,
Sleep.
sleep,
Guided.
guided,
Music.
music,
Courses.
courses,
Kids.
kids,
Beginners.
beginners,
Daily.
daily. There's a daily meditation, a featured daily meditation.
Talks.
Then there's talks,
Organize.
organize,
Community. 13.4 meters people. 623K today. 7.1K now.
7.1 thousand people are meditating right now.
Facing fear with compassion. Elizabeth Gilbert. Rated 5.0. Overcoming fear.
There's a featured meditation.
Purposeful pauses to lead and live with excellence. Janice Martirano. New course.
There is the course we saw before.
Just released. Heading.
And now we're back to this just released heading. But I want to show you the timer.
Sleep. Timer.
I've moved back to timer. Let's go in.
Inside timer. 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 Presets.
We have presets.
Close. Button.
We have a close button.
Starting bell.
We have a starting bell.
Bosu. Selected. 1. Button. 2. Button.
How many starting bells do you want? I have one selected.
3. Button. Duration. Meditation 10.
You can choose the duration of your meditation.
Interval bells. None.
You can choose to have interval bells.
Ambient sound. Celtic harmony.
There is where you choose your ambient sound. Mine's set to Celtic harmony currently.
Ending bell. Bosu.
There's your ending bell.
Start. Button.
And you can start.
88%. Button.
I believe this is the volume of your meditation, so that's a volume slider.
Card dots. Button. Possibly. More. Card dots. 88%. Start. Button.
So let's go back.
Ending bell. Bosu.
Let's go to the ending bell.
Bosu. 1. Button. 2. Button. Selected. 3. Selected. 3. Button.
I've chosen 3 ending bells.
Bosu. Ending bell. Head. Back button. Ending bell. Heading.
So you can see that we've opened an actual screen.
Bosu. Bosu.
That's what I currently have set. So when you double tap the ending bell, it will play it for you.
Ending bell. Heading. Bosu. Selected. 3. Button.
With the ending bell, however, you should be able to choose multiple bells. This requires turning off voiceover, however, and it's a little bit of a crapshoot. It's really hard to know how to do it. You're essentially just tapping and flicking on the screen trying to figure out how to get the new bell to sound. It's not ideal. You can do that with the starting bell as well, although it's even trickier with the starting bell because if you try and tap on the starting bell, it doesn't open a new screen where you can pick bells to choose from. So sometimes you will accidentally change the music instead of the starting bell. I'm going to show you how to change the music in a second, but this will give you an idea as to how this works. It's not ideal, and again, I'm going to write to support about this.
Timer. Ending bell. Ambient sound. Celtic harmony.
Let's go to the ambient sound.
Celtic harmony.
Celtic harmony is my ambient sound.
Progress halted. Celtic harmony. Celtic harmony.
It takes me to a screen, and I thought double tapping it would allow it to play for me. That's not currently happening.
Voiceover off.
So, I'm just tapping on the screen with voiceover off. And you can get to different sounds. So this is not ideal, but you can do it. Because they're very beautiful. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just tapping on various parts of the screen. So now I'm going to turn voiceover back on.
Voiceover on. Inside timer. Cancel. Ambient sound. Heading. Save. Button. Zen guitar.
So this is called Zen Guitar.
Progress halted. Zen. Save. Button.
And I can
sound.
cancel or
Heading.
save.
Cancel.
So
Button.
right
Cancel.
now,
Timer.
I'm going to cancel.
Presets.
And you can actually set presets for your timer. If there are things you specifically like, you can do that.
Close. Button.
There's close.
Timer. Timer. Sleep.
So is it ideal? No, it's not perfect. However, it allows you to do really nice things, and there are definitely things that need improvement in the app. But for me, because I use it every day, in fact, this is my 64th or 63rd day of consecutive meditation. So I use this all the time. I use this daily, and it really has enhanced my life tremendously. I just wanted to show it to you because it's an option, and there are others like this. You can find apps that are free. You can find paid apps. It just depends on what you want. I like a variety. There's a lot available to you. There's an app called 10% Happier, which is also very accessible. And there's the Calm app that we spoke of earlier. So there's a lot of different options for you to check out if something like this is of interest as well. You know, it's funny. We had actually ended this podcast. We closed it off, and then we started talking more and realized we actually have more that we could share with you. Our really important goal in all this, yes, we're a small business. Yes, we need your money to eat and pay our bills. But, you know, we really care about you guys as people. We want to make sure that you're getting through this as well as possible, and that hopefully you can find ways to enjoy the solitude that it brings, or the enjoyment of nature that it brings, or whatever that is for you. I know that in a world that feels crazy right now, even with this happening, the fact that we're kind of being forced to close up our lives a little bit more, in some ways, for me, it brings some quiet. It brings some breathing room. I almost feel like there's a reevaluation of priorities right now that can bring some peace.
Other things that you might want to keep in mind as we travel through this unknown. I just received an email not too long ago from Kim Commando's newsletter, and the subject was something like disgusting robocallers preying on this whole thing. But for her to put disgusting in the subject is not normal. But it is disgusting, because what people are doing is the robocallers are trying to get your money by saying things like there are cures that are pending from the CDC, and in order to get in line, you have to give them your credit card number and social security number. And the first thing you want to do is hang up on them. What she was saying in her newsletter article was that with people working from home, they're more apt to answer the phone during business hours, because sometimes they may not know if they're answering a business call or if they're answering a personal call, depending on how things are set up. So you want to keep in mind that there are no cures as of right now.
There are no cures and vaccines from the CDC.
And the CDC will not be calling you asking for your credit card number.
No, they will not.
Social security number. The other thing you want to keep in mind too, in the other robocall type of thing she was talking about, was that they were calling people and telling them that they were testing positive, and in order to reserve your space, you got to give them your credit card info and all that other stuff. Again, make sure you know who you're talking to. Make sure you have been tested. I can see
You'll know if you've been tested. The test
Right.
is apparently drooling and disgusting and awful.
Right. But if you are tested and you get one of these calls, your doctor's not going to ask you for your credit card info. The CDC is not going to be making a personal call to you telling you that you've been tested positive. It's going to come from your local area or the agency that took your test to begin with. So just keep this kind of stuff in mind. Don't fall prey to any of these robocall scammer. I wouldn't even call them people, because they're not.
I think the other thing is, again, remember to find balance in all this. Find the gratitude for the stuff that is still normal, that is still your normal. Hug your kids, hug your pets, talk to the people you love. It gives us time to, again, reevaluate where our priorities live. And I think that's going to change things. I've had many conversations over the last week, and that has been the theme of many of them, is how this is going to change things. And it's not all going to be negative. There's going to be some positive that comes out of this, in that we're all going to change our perspectives as a result of some of this. I really, really believe that. We're going to think about a lot of things differently. Be kind to yourselves and each other. Isn't that how Jerry Springer used to end his TV show? Be kind to yourself. Oh, that was take care of yourselves and each other.
It's been off the air for quite some time. We'll forgive you for that one.
I'm showing my age now. We want to give you other tips because they're out there and they're things that we know about that we can share with you. And the thing that we didn't talk about yet in this podcast is how you can use your voice assistants. So if you have a Google or an A-Lady, and I just set my Google off, if you have one or multiples of these, you can use them to enhance your life as well. I think I'll show you A-Lady and then Chris can show you Google. There are lots of things you can do. Here's one I love. Play chimes.
Here's wind chimes and forest ambience by Sounds of Nature for deep sleep and relaxation on Amazon Music.
This isn't what I wanted, but it's still very pretty. So that's on Amazon Music. I don't know if it's available to just Prime members or if I got it through my Amazon Music Unlimited. That's Launch chimes. That's what I wanted. Just makes your breath slow down. That's help. Launch daily affirmation.
Here is your affirmation for today. I act on divine guidance with confidence and faith.
That's a skill I really like. Relax me.
Sure, I can help you with that. I have many skills that can help you relax and relieve stress. I've got one called Sleep Sounds, Rain Sounds. Want to try it? Or you can ask
No.
for more options.
More options.
Would you like calming tips skills, guided stretches skills, affirmation skills, or yoga skills? Or you can ask for more options.
More options.
I've got one called Sleep Sounds, Thunderstorm Sounds. Want to try it?
No.
I have sounds, workout skills, or sleep skills. Which would you like? Or you can ask for more options.
Sleep skills.
Sure, sleep skills. Do you want to try Sleep Sounds, Ocean Sounds? It's rated 4.9 stars by over 9,000 people. Or you can ask for more options.
Yes.
Here's Sleep Sounds, Ocean Sounds.
Stop. So that's just one, but you can tell her to relax me or help me relax. Help me reduce stress. Help me reduce
According
stress.
to WikiHow, to reduce your stress, get 8 hours of sleep every night and practice relaxing your body through daily exercise and weekly massage. Techniques like deep breathing exercises, guided meditation, and practicing yoga can also help you reduce physical and mental stress in the moment and during your day. If you're not sure where your stress is coming from, try journaling for 20 minutes every day to get down to the root cause of your stress. Then, take action to reduce those triggers or avoid them altogether. To learn more details about this and other how-tos from WikiHow, say Open WikiHow.
Launch 1 minute mindfulness.
I found a few skills that might help. Do you mean 1 minute mindfulness, peace 1 minute at a time?
Yes.
Welcome to the 1 minute mindfulness skill. Mindfulness is the practice of purposely focusing your attention on the present moment and accepting it without judgment. Even 1 minute will bring the benefit of mindfulness to your life. You can say minute, waves, forest or river. Which meditation would you like?
Minute.
Your meditation is about to begin. As the music plays, take a moment to calm your mind and focus on your breath.
I'm turning this down a bit with my volume button on my dot. This just to give you an idea. It's going to play me pretty music. It's just a minute out of your day to kind of regroup. Even in these crazy times, we all have that. And we may have even more time now than we did previously. It's just one way to regroup. Another thing I'm going to link to in the podcast show notes is a class that I taught a while back about ways to relax with a lady in Google Home, because it has a lot of good information in it too. And when this ends, I'm going to show you the sleep sounds skill as just a reminder, because it's another lovely way to just have some ambience in your day. So this should be over in just a moment. Again, it's only 1 minute out of your day.
Would you like to continue? You can say yes, or you can say cancel.
Cancel.
Thank you for using the 1 minute mindfulness skill. Take a deep breath, smile, and enjoy the rest of your day.
And I'm just adjusting my volume there. That is how that works. There are a lot of skills. There's one called Sweet Dreams. There's a bunch of different meditation skills. I want to show you 2 more things. Launch sleep sounds.
Welcome back. What can I do for you?
Crickets. Ask Sleep Sounds to play Country Night. Ask Sleep Sounds to play Swedish Massage. This is a paid skill. You can actually listen for free, I think. Do you remember how this worked? And then I think there's a premium option to it.
Yeah, you get some sounds, but you don't get others unless you pay for them.
What it says. Ask Sleep Sounds to play Forest.
We have several forest sounds. Which one would you like? Forest night, rainforest, or forest birds?
Forest birds. There are a ton of sounds in the premium version. I think it was $20 for a lifetime subscription to the premium version, and it's well worth it. You can also mix sounds, so you can have a custom mix, but you can only do that if you pay for it. Actually, there's two more things I'm going to show you. I thought there was one, but there's two. Launch Virtual Vacation.
Welcome to Virtual Vacation. Prepare to travel within your mind. Say the name of the destination you'd like to visit. Or you can ask me to name the choices, or check your passport.
Name the choices.
Choose from relaxing, city, experience, or fantasy.
Relaxing.
You can visit countryside, beach walk, rainforest hike. Would you like one of these or another one?
Another one.
Choose from Thailand jungle, the park, Indonesia wildlife trek. Would you like one of these or another one?
Another one.
Golden Pass exclusives, the farm, fishing, or the harbor. Would you like one of these or another one?
The harbor.
I don't think we traveled to that destination yet. Please say list choices for our full list.
List choices.
Choose from relaxing, city, experience, or fantasy.
Relaxing.
You can visit countryside, beach walk, rainforest hike. Would you like one of these or another one?
Rainforest hike.
Your virtual vacation starts now. Amazon rainforest hike.
Now what's neat about these is they change. So if I sit here for 20 or 30 minutes, it's going to change. I don't know why it wasn't letting me go to that other one. That bothers me a little bit. Because I did pay for this. I paid for the upgrade. At least I think I did.
Somebody's just kind of tootling, you did, and somebody's just tootling along, walking around the rainforest.
They're walking along the rainforest, and their journey will change as they move through. You'll hear animals, you'll hear the environment change. There's all sorts
You're already
of
hearing
things
it
that are really
change.
cool. Yeah, they're already away from the water.
And the best part is you're not going to get wet.
You're not going to get wet. So it's a little virtual vacation for your mind. Let's stop.
Okay, we hope you enjoyed your trip. Bye-bye now.
The last thing I want to show you is another really cool thing you can do. I don't know if you can use the skill for free, but there's a music app called Calm Radio that's different than the Calm meditation app that I mentioned earlier. But this is Calm Radio, and it's really cool as well. Launch Calm Radio.
Welcome back to Calm Radio. What channel do you want to play?
Help.
Here are some things you can say. Play solo piano. Play Brahms. You can also say stop if you're done. So, how can I help?
Tell me my choices.
I'm sorry, I could not find a Calm Radio channel matching Tell Me My Choices. Please try again. What channel do you want to play?
Healing.
Playing healing.
What is this?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
What's playing?
Sorry, something went wrong.
So you can't do that. That doesn't work. But you can play these channels. Now, I'm a premium member. I pay for Calm Radio. I don't know if you can do this for free, but they do if you have TuneIn, or if you use TuneIn, you can say, play Calm Radio solo guitar on TuneIn.
Calm Radio, solo piano and guitar from Kim's TuneIn.
So that's not the one I wanted for sure. They do have a solo guitar only channel. But you can play these for free through your TuneIn station. You will get ads. You will get commercials this way. And the audio quality isn't as good. These are what are called sampler channels. And they really do just relax you and release stress. They're not all instrumental either. There are some that are classical. Play Calm Radio Bach on TuneIn.
Calm Radio, J.S. Bach from Kim's TuneIn.
We're recording this on Bach's birthday, so it was appropriate to play a little bit of Bach this morning. Play Calm Radio Solo Harp on TuneIn.
I could not find a station named Calm Radio Solo Harp on TuneIn.
Play Calm Radio Harp on TuneIn.
Calm Radio, Harp from Kim's TuneIn.
So sometimes you have to know what to say. If you like stuff like this, it's worth your money, I promise. I've been a member for many years, and it's very beautiful. They aren't all instrumental channels, however, but I don't know how many of the non-instrumental channels you can play without using the actual app. Play Calm Radio 90s on TuneIn.
I cannot play that on TuneIn.
So there is a 90s channel, there are decades channels, but I don't know if any of them have actual sample channels that you can play. But there are non-instrumental channels as well. There are hundreds of channels. There are also nature sounds channels as part of Calm Radio. Let's stop. So I just wanted to give you some options and some ideas. And now I'll turn it over to Chris, and he can play with Google.
One thing that we've been told throughout this whole pandemic is to wash our hands.
Yes, and I'm laughing. You'll see why in a minute.
Yeah, she's not laughing because we have to wash our hands.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I discovered something funny the other night, and we're going to share it with you.
A couple years ago, there was a toothbrush skill for the Amazon Echo, and it taught little kids how to brush their teeth.
It's very cute.
You know, one week you'd have an animal, and the next or day, and you were supposed to come back every day, 3 times a day, and brush your teeth. And what it would do is it would time you on brushing your teeth. So it would tell you how long to do for this quadrant and another for this quadrant. And it was really, really cool.
We would have loved that when we were kids. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, we had, at least I had an electric toothbrush that went on forever. It never told you when you were supposed to change your quadrant.
I think I had like a Mickey toothbrush or something at one point that was kind of like that, except you put a battery in it. Felt like your whole face was coming off.
I had a Superman one just like that, actually.
I'm not surprised. The skill that we're referring to is called Chompers. And you can launch it. It still exists. It still works. And you can say, "Hey, lady, launch Chompers," and you can check it out.
Anyway, if you have a Google Home next to your sink or in hearing distance, you might want to tell her to do this. Sing me a song.
Finally, it's here. I've been waiting for this chance. I could
Sing me a song.
Wash, wash, wash your hands for 40 seconds, please. Soap will chase the germs away so you don't cough and sneeze. Lather up your hands about a half a minute more. Get in between each finger, you can never be too sure. Clean, clean, clean your hands, and if you're getting bored, remember, friend, that in the end, good health is your reward. Scrub, scrub, scrub your hands, you're almost there, hooray! Soap and water lather up at least 5 times a day. Rinse, rinse, rinse your hands, just 5 more seconds now. We're having fun, we're almost done, now let's get you a towel.
There you go. There's your
And
hand washing song.
there's your little hand washing song. For some reason, it didn't do it the first time. It went through all of her other songs. So you might have to do it a couple times, but she will eventually sing you a song about washing your hands.
That's pretty funny. And if she's not, you can come back and listen to the podcast and it'll be here for posterity.
Motivate me.
Here's a quote that might help. Albert Schweitzer once said, "Sometimes our light goes out, but is blown again into instant flame by an encounter with another human being."
Motivate me.
Here's a quote that might help. Will Rogers once said, "Don't let yesterday take up too much of today."
Let's play a game.
Alright, I have a few options for that. Song quiz, Akinator, Dustin from Stranger Things, and more. Which one would you like to try?
More.
There's also Jeopardy, History of India, Movie quiz, and more. Which one would you like to try?
More.
There's also Which Avenger Am I, Trivia Crack, Naruto quiz, and more. Which one do you want to try?
Which Avenger am I?
Here's Which Avenger Am I.
Welcome to the Avengers quiz. Are you ready to start?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you 8 questions. Here we go. Are you strong enough to lift a wooden log?
Yes.
Okay, here's another one. Do you play dart quite often?
No.
Thanks. Now try this one. Is your sense of humor high?
Yes.
Okay, next question. Are you afraid of losing?
No.
Thanks. Next question. Did you take leadership any time in your life?
No.
Got it. Next question. Have you topped your class at least 5 times?
No.
Thanks. Next question. Do you correct your friend's language?
Yes.
Got it. Last question. Do you have a sibling of same gender?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we're done. Get ready for your result. You are the first Avenger, Captain Percent 2E. Do you want to try again?
No.
Okay, try again later, if you like.
I think there was a little issue with that game because it said %2E. I don't know what Avenger that is.
Don't look at me.
But I just wanted to show you that you can play games and get yourself entertained with your Google Assistant.
It'll tell you
And
jokes, too.
yes, they both will tell you jokes. Tell me a joke.
How do you make a tissue dance? Put a little boogie in it.
Oh,
And
that's
it's just,
disgusting.
it's kind of disgusting and I had to sneeze too. Luckily, there's nothing coming from the speaker, so
Yeah, right.
we don't have to worry about that one.
Let me share one from A-Lady, too, because it's spring now, so I can say, tell me a spring joke.
What do flowers wear under their petals? Underplants.
Google, tell me a spring joke.
Getting joke about.
How do you make a waterbed more bouncy? You use spring water. Would you like to hear another joke or pick a category? Just say another for another joke or category to pick a new category.
Category.
Just say joke about and then your desired one-word category like dogs or cats.
Joke about cats.
It was raining cats and dogs the other day. I almost stepped in a poodle. Would you like to hear another joke or pick a category? Just say another for another joke or category to pick a new category.
Another.
What do you call a pile of cats? A meowton. Would you like to hear another joke or pick a category? Just say another for another joke or category to pick a new category.
No, thank you.
Check out our awesome new game called More or Less Trivia, the internet guessing game show perfect to pass the time in the car or play with friends. Just say to your smart device, "Okay Google, talk to More or Less Trivia," and you'll be starring on More or Less. Have a nice day.
So that was kind of cool. That was something that I found literally by mistake.
I think Headspace is still on Google as well, so that's a meditation app. If you're interested in that, it certainly used to be there. That doesn't mean it's still there, but it used to be there at one time. You've got options in terms of relaxing things you can do if you want to do something like that. You can play games with your A-Lady as well. She'll tell you jokes too, so it just depends on your assistant. If you don't have an A-Lady or a Google and you're kind of interested in getting one while you're stuck at home, you can get them fairly affordably. In fact, I think Amazon was having a sale on 3rd Gen Dots recently, so it might be worth looking at. Buy a 3rd generation Dot.
I found Echo Dot, 3rd Gen, smart speaker, charcoal. It's $49.99.
Never mind.
I added it to your Amazon cart for review. To purchase, say buy it now.
Well, the sale must be over. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I was looking at Google Minis, the Nest Mini, earlier in the week, and those are also $49. So your little assistants, both of them, are about $50 each.
And it's like everything else. You can spend more money to get more stuff if you want to buy skills or things like that. Subscribe to services that you can then essentially plug and play into your assistant. So you've got lots of options. Also remember that your assistants can make your home smarter if you have certain devices. That might be something to consider. As I said before, it's all about finding balance. Oh, the other thing we didn't mention is you can listen to Audible books as well. So that could be a nice way to spend your time too.
Yes, Audible and Amazon and Google Books. Google has their own audiobook store, so you can buy audiobooks from both platforms.
Right. I don't know what the selection of Google Books is like currently. There weren't that many when this option came out. It really depends on what you listen to. If you're already in the Audible universe, as it were, then maybe an A-Lady is the better option for you. It really just depends on what you want and what interests you. If you're not a big reader, then it may not matter to you one way or the other. The other thing is that if you are interested in using this for cord cutting, you can. That's something we talk about in the class that we mentioned earlier. So look out for that if it interests you. It will be coming out soon if you weren't attending live.
There's also joke apps that might keep you entertained.
Motivation apps. So we just want to give you some more options. We just want to share more about what you could do in these crazy times to find that balance and relax a bit and find that little breathing space.
Speaking of motivation, I think we're going to leave you with a motivation that I received yesterday. And it goes like this. Our elders were called to war to save lives. We are being called to sit on the couch to save theirs. We can do this.
So true. We got this, guys. Talk to you in 2 weeks.
Bye now.
Bye.
The preceding podcast is a presentation of Mystic Access, where the magic is in learning. If you are blind or visually impaired and desire to discover how our comprehensive products and services may support and empower your assistive technology journey, we welcome your visit at www.mysticaccess.com. Have a question or wish to place an order via phone? Call us at 716-543-3323. If you have something to share about this podcast episode, press 4 to reach our Mystic Access podcast comment line. Email us at info@mysticaccess.com. Connect with us on Twitter at twitter.com/mysticaccess and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/mysticaccessempower. Would you like to spread the word about our podcasts? Your friends and colleagues may listen and subscribe at www.mysticaccesspodcast.com. If you enjoy our episodes, consider leaving us an iTunes rating and review. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks for spreading the word, and thanks for being a listener. We hope you enjoyed this episode.